Our next stop is at Oak Glen, just 47 miles north of Temecula, where visitors take a trip back in time, 100 years to be exact. The Oak Glen features a whole handful of family-run orchards, where you'll likely be met by Scott and Jim Riley in full-period costume, of course.
Riley's Farm is a great place for RVers to come because they get to do everything. They don't stand behind a velvet rope and watch everybody else do the picking and the apple pressing or the caramel apple dipping or the musket firing. You get to do it yourself.
That's right. He said musket firing.
Now that, you see, the first thing to remember that a soldier always has to have these two front teeth. Without those, he won't be able to tear his cartridge.
We volunteered Mary Tucker, a local tour guide, for this part.
Did you bring your brown bag? Now you're ready to load your musket. Pour the powder down the muzzle. That's why we call it a muzzle loader. Then you have your wadding. And now this gives you for a good compaction. And then you have your ball. Then we take our ramrod and we drive it home. A good soldier could load and fire 3 times in a minute. How do you think she's doing?
Well, the battle's been lost.
All right, get it right there against your shoulder. All right, you say, bloody turncoat, come back to where you came from. Ah, you got him. He's now with his ancestors, sleeping in the grave.
A visit to Riley's Orchard is like stepping back to a different era. You're sure to appreciate the feel of days gone by.
When you're surrounded by beautiful trees like these, you can almost taste the fresh apple cider, which is why cider pressing is such a popular activity here at Oak Glen.
Faith, now we're going to get some cider the way we used to do it in my grandpappy's day. And you're going to turn the crank. You can get a spot of must for the table. This is our golden sauce, or our mooch before the hooch, or Mr. Seamus's elixir. Oh yes, it's a frothy mug it is. Down the hatch. Needs a bit of the tartar apples, a few green apples, a few winesaps. Granny Smith's be right in touch.
Not surprising, it's hard to resist a treat that's been pleasing the crowds here for the last 100 years.
A worthwhile day trip that's only 2 hours away from Temecula is Calico, California. But you'd better be on your best behavior. Folks have sharp eyes in this dusty mining town, and justice is swift. The face of Calico hasn't changed much in the many years that have passed by. Some say you can still catch a glimpse of old cowboys at work here. But Calico's been deserted now for over 70 years. No doubt there's a couple of old souls kicking around here. In its heyday, the town of Calico boasted 22 saloons, a red light district, its own Chinatown, and a population of over 1,200. It was built at the site of one of the richest silver mine strikes in California history, but hauling silver out of the desert became too expensive, and the once vibrant town of Calico slowly faded away. But as the tumbleweeds roll, so do the wheels of RVs. Calico's latest incarnation is as a popular day trip destination.
You park right at the base of town. It's wide open. We have a bus greeter that welcomes you and helps you park your RV to make it very easy for you and accessible. And then you just jump out and come walking up into the little bit of the Old West.
Just watch that the bus greeter doesn't give you a heart attack.
Welcome to Calico. Y'all come up here to have fun, but now you found the gunfighters. Now y'all come up if you can, because if you can't, don't bother coming up, because we are going to shoot you no matter where you're at.
It's comforting to know that it's all an act. Dave isn't all that mean, especially not when he screws up.
All right, I'm going to welcome you to Oh, my God. I don't believe this.
It's a darn good thing these guys are acting.
This was a mining town, and it was considered bad manners to be walking around with a gun on.
But there's one thing about Calico that's too eerie to be faked. It's all the ghostly encounters that seem to be all too common here.
Some people say they've spoken with someone, and we say, well, there's no one in that building. Well, there has to be. I just talked to that person. Makes you think. Ghosts exist.
I've had some type of an entity, a ghost, or whatever you want to call them, sit down on my bed at night while I was sleeping, shuffle through my bedroom when I'm trying to sleep, and just odds and ends, nothing horrifying. We don't have any tragic or bad stories at all. They're all just generally just little mischief.
If you're brave, check the stories out for yourself. Calico is open all year long from 8 a.m. to dusk. Entrance fee is $6 for adults and only $4 for the kids. And the town is easy to get to. It's 130 miles north of Temecula off Interstate 40. And there's plenty of RV parking.